Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Ray, and today I thought that I would do a little Wipnchat. But this time I'm gonna actually face you, while we work on my project. And I am sitting in the sunniest spot of my home. So yes, the lighting is gonna be off, but I hope you don't mind because I am frozen to the bone, and this is like this is the one thing that's bringing up my levels of happiness today. So I'm going to share with you what I'm working on. I'm going to be knitting today. I'm working on this piece, which I will try to hold up without losing my spot. This right here is my Slip Stravaganza shawl by Stephen Westnitz, and I am on this part right here that, yeah, I think it looks so silly, but anyway, we're on row 10 of section 4. Is it section 4? And there's dog hair going everywhere. This is the section called checks. I'm working wrong side with the pink. And today is Wednesday, so I'm actually posting this video the day that I'm recording it, which usually I try to record ahead of time, but sometimes, like, life gets in the way, and that's what happened yesterday. So let's talk about it. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who commented on last week's video. If you've never watched a Wipnchat video before, this is kind of just where we talk. I catch up with you. You can work on whatever project you would like to work on, and I'm just going to ramble. I was going to set up the camera so that you could actually see me and my hands while I'm working, but I thought it would be better for me to just, instead of getting obsessive about the way that the video is going to look, just let's hang out. I need that more than I need to think about, and I just realized I did something wrong. I need to hang out more than I need to be perfect. Let me sweep up this again. I was looking at the wrong line, of course, so drop that stitch, pull it back. Bear with me. How are you doing? I hope you're well. There we go. All right, I hope you're doing good. I've read your comments from last week. I've had a very busy week, so we'll talk about that too. But yesterday was particularly bad. Okay, row 10. Knit 3, I did that. Knit front back. I highly recommend this pattern. I am going to be, before I get too far, I should probably tell you more about this. This is Stephen Westnitz pattern Slip Stravaganza, and I'm using yarns from my friend Heike. She dyed these for me as a Christmas present. And also, the black I am using is from Mothie and the Squid, and they are in the UK. And that's so cute. I'm almost done with that one. Okay. I should have set up this row first, probably. Knit 2, and then slip. So we're going to do the knitting and then the slipping with the yarn in front. Slip with yarn in front, and then knit. Okay, now that I have my bearings, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll start from the beginning. Last week I was hanging out with a follower and friend, Gwen. She is from Kildare, and she came down to visit and kind of, just take her own vacation, right? And we spent some time together, and we crafted and saw some sights and Saw a lovely sunset as well. It was really nice. I wouldn't say it was as relaxing as I expected on my end, but that's just because I get nervous and maybe a little hyper or something, and I feel like I need to do. But um, we ended up chilling a little bit more, and it was all good. The weather was brilliant as well, which I did not expect. We had a lot of sunny weather, and then it was time for her to go home on Monday. And what happened? When was it? So today's Wednesday, so it was yesterday. Yesterday was almost like an avalanche of critical errors. And for those of you who subscribe to the vlogs that I publish on Patreon, you'll see. Basically, what ended up happening was that James was having a very bad day. And James is my husband, if you didn't know. It was like a comedy of errors. He had a lot of work to do. So we decided to get something easy for dinner. He put it in the oven. He then had to go to an online meeting, one of those. He does volunteer work in a few different committee type things in the town that we live in. And in the middle of the meeting, he asked me to come in and help him just to check on dinner. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. I open up the oven door, and my goodness, there was no heat coming out of the oven, and it had been on for 30 minutes. Then I immediately pinged it, it happened in my mind. I went, oh, I've been freezing today, and I didn't know why. I was like, I've been freezing today. We must be out of gas. And James also had that exact thought, except he remembered that Monday we smelled gas. And I was like, oh, this is unusual to smell gas. And I asked him to check the level of the tank, because we use natural gas for heating and hot water and cooking. Heating, hot water, cooking, yeah. Stove, the sinks, and the radiators. And I look at him and I go, but babe, weren't you checking it? I thought that you were on top of it. I thought that you were checking it. I assumed that, every month or so he would check it when he was checking on the chickens, because in the winter he's very good and he checks on the chickens. I take over in the summer. I do it a lot more in the summer, but he is very sweet and he does that in the winter time, because he's in the garden anyway. He does a lot of composting and taking care of the beds and stuff, because we do a lot of gardening. And, well, I shouldn't say he does a lot of vegetable gardening. So I thought he was keeping an eye on the level of the tank. Turns out that we are completely empty, well below empty. So he kind of panics because he had bought this chicken. I don't know what it's called, actually. It's okay, you debone the chicken, and then you wrap it up and, tie it up. And in the middle, there's stuffing. It's lovely. It's like a little tenderloin of chicken. Yeah. So I had a moment of clarity, and I was like, okay, let's put it in the Instant Pot. I'll cook it in the Instant Pot. But obviously we can't cook the potatoes. We were going to cook potatoes, but there would be no way for me to do that unless we ate the chicken and then put on the potatoes and then ate the potatoes. And it was like 9 o'clock at night at this stage. And I was like, fed is best. What should we do? So we decided to order chips from the petrol station. Well, not, sorry. We were going to buy chips from petrol stations because there's like, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, I live really rural here. I live in Southwest Ireland. If you're new, hi. I don't live in the States. I'm American by birth, but I live over here. And anyway, we there's a pizza place that's like a fast food pizza place. And then there's a grill, and the grill is only open certain days in the winter. Apparently Tuesday is not that day because when we called, they were closed. So James said, well, let's go to the chipper across the street and call the chipper. So we ordered our fries, and then James is happy again. He's like, okay, we're going to eat the chicken. We're going to have the fries, and it's all going to be good. And then he goes out to the car to go get the chips, and the car won't start. Yeah. Some of you might know that we've been having car issues since Christmas. Right after Christmas, right when we got COVID, our car stopped working. So that would have been the end of December, and oh my goodness, it will not get fixed. We've spent 400 euros so far, and we've changed all the filters, and we've replaced engine parts and all kinds of stuff. And it just won't fix. It's so annoying. Anyhow, so that happened. Then James finally got it to start, and he got the chips. And by the time he got home, it was like 9:45 when we ate our dinner. And meanwhile, outside, the wind is blowing and howling and an absolute gale outside. There wasn't a named storm this time. I think it was just random wind and rain. And James looked at the forecast, and we were expecting an inch of rain overnight, which is quite a lot. I mean, yeah, Ireland is known for its rain, but heavy deluge, no. Constant trickle, yes. Do you know what I mean? Right now you would know it by the sunshine. And yes, just so that you know, I know that it's not very sightly, but here at night, we put our curtains up on the sill to trap the cold air, because cold air sinks and warm air rises. So if I keep my curtains down, then all of the heat from the radiator will go up and just go straight onto the window. So yeah, I also need that to be closed, because otherwise you wouldn't see me. You would just see the beautiful outside, which I should probably show you. But anyway, after all that drama, we finally ate, and he was exhausted. He was so tired yesterday. I was exhausted on Monday. I can't go into a lot of detail. I don't want to go into a lot of detail because she actually asked me not to, but I did have my first therapy appointment on Monday. And it made me of course you open up and you talk about your past and all that stuff. Asked about everything, and I will not be talking about it. for right now. I need time to process what's going on. But it did make me kind of go, oh, that's not normal for a lot of things. And I'm really lucky to, well, I wouldn't say lucky. I'm really happy that I made the decision to go through with it, even though I was scared. I was really scared. And I'm still kind of nervous. There's a voice in my head that's like, you shouldn't be talking about this. But that's obviously not me. Because I do talk about it. I talk about my mental health all the time. Do you know what I mean? But as soon as I get another person involved, I feel like somehow that is different. Yeah. So anyway, oh, my hair is having a good hair day. Finally. I've been thinking about it quite a bit. It feels a little long or something. I don't know. Something feels weird with it, but anyway. I got my nails done. I did Color Street this time. I've been trying to take a break on my nails because the last time I wore them, it really destroyed my nail beds, and I'm going to try to give them a little bit of a break. Sorry, messages. Messages from friends. But yeah, got them all done up for Patty's Day. You can't really tell because the clovers, like, it's green. Oh, you can kind of see it there, kind of, sort of. They're green, and then this one has like black in the background, and there's clovers. This front-facing camera, does not like to focus, so I do apologize. But that was my Monday, and yeah, I had a good weekend. Like I said, it was like, just having a good time, and then I had a bit of a recovery day, and then it was almost time to say goodbye, and Luna was soaking it up as well. She's over there conked, which, if I can, I'll insert a picture. I think I put a picture online of her in her sweater, but she's wearing a sweater because it was so windy last night that she needed something like a thunder shirt. Yeah, I did put that online. I put it on Instagram and Facebook, I think so. Or was it just Instagram? I can't remember. But yeah. These rows are so long. Like, look. This is what I've done so far. And I still have, I'm just, let's see, where's halfway? There's halfway. So we're halfway through this row, and it's been 18 minutes. So, these rows just get longer and longer. But yeah, let me think. So I've been trying to think of what I can do to help Ukraine, and aside from purchasing crafts from Ukrainian designers and artists, which you can absolutely do, I was thinking about selling my old diamond painting pens, the ones that I used to sell in my Etsy shop. And let me know what you think in a comment, because I don't know how to do this, but I can't pay for shipping for all of them, but the money that I raise can go toward, like, directly to charity. Basically, I'm donating everything that's left over in my shop to help. Does that sound right? So basically what would happen is there would be an item price and a shipping price, but the item price is the donated price, and the shipping is just straight up shipping. It is a lot of work, but I mean, I feel like it's something that I can do, and my way to help, aside from what I've done personally, but something that I can do that will help, you know, encourage other people to do that too. As far as the diamond painting world goes, I think a few different companies have, you know, decided to either create a diamond painting to, you know, share support, or they've decided to make codes or donating a certain percentage of sales, which I think is fantastic. So really, really nice. Again, we've reached capacity for sending goods, so it's all about monetary donations at this stage. And what I would like to do is to make sure that the money that I raise goes towards families, to make sure that children are being taken care of, they're getting their basic needs met with that money. So let me know what you think. I'll try to organize that as soon as I can. But in the meantime, I have something special to share with y'all tomorrow. So please look out for that on the channel. It was just my way of kind of supporting a shop that I had known about for a long time, but I hadn't pulled the plug, so to speak, because it was expensive. But in this case, I mean, it was totally worth it for me. And I worry that I wouldn't be able to get it again. Maybe I would, but you know, it's just a worry. So for those of you who have watched this far, it's a bead embroidery kit. So exciting. Don't forget to hydrate. I've been drinking, been trying to get a little healthier, right? I normally drink a lot of sparkling water, but I'm trying to drink like vitamins and stuff. It's this kind of powder that you put in the water, and it's supposed to have lots of healthy things to help with your memory, help give you energy and that sort of thing. I was kind of stuck on a little bit of a loop earlier today because the cold is very paralyzing to me. It took me ages to finally peel myself off my phone and go take a shower and all that stuff. But now that I'm sufficiently warm and I've started doing my laundry and everything, I feel much better now. But that memory drink, I think it's called Revive Active or something like that. It's definitely good. I've only had 1 cup of coffee today, again, trying to make healthier decisions, healthier choices, eating salad more regularly. It's not that hard to do, but like I keep saying, I'm going on stupid walks for my stupid mental health. It's March. We're getting there. It's getting closer to April. April is a good month as far as sunshine goes, so looking forward to it. My diamond painting bug seems to be back as well. I'm diamond painting in my free time. Weird, I know, but I woke up this morning and I just felt the urge to start diamond painting. Excuse me. So the kit that was closest was kimono. It was the one on top of the pile, so I went ahead and I pulled out another section of that and did that. And I'm liking the way that it's coming out. I do feel like the symbols are blurry. It is an older canvas, so, you know, I feel like that's going to happen, but they've since changed canvas suppliers, and I do have an unboxing coming up for you soon from Diamond Shop. I think you will enjoy. I received it a few weeks ago. I haven't unboxed it yet. Just had to take those few weeks off, get my stuff together. Next up is I'm trying to get my website going. So I have a website, but it's not open yet, if that makes sense. But it'll be really cool, and I'm super excited for you to finally see it when it's ready. I'm hoping for summer of this year. What else is happening? What else do we have? Oh, we had the dark sky. So, okay, where I live, we are in an international dark sky reserve. We are the gold tier, meaning that we're one of the few places on Earth where you can truly see the stars with no light pollution. It's incredible. I wish sometimes that I had been able to come here before I got my eye laser surgery, because I can't see very well at night. It takes me a long time to adjust, but when my eyes do adjust, you can see the Milky Way, like almost like in pictures, right? It's incredible. So if you're ever looking to see the night sky, like truly, if you're into astrology? No, astronomy. I mean, if you're into astrology, you might like it too, but I meant astronomy. Words. You should definitely come. They had their yearly event, and the skies were clear this year, which was incredible. So I should have gone to the night tour. I thought that you needed a ticket, but I had friends who showed up and they were able to partake and look through the telescopes and stuff. So I kind of feel bad that I missed out on that, but that is something that can be done here too. People travel from all over the world to see that, which is awesome. What else happened? I'm trying to think of all the things. Well, I can't think of anything right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring up the comments from last week's video and from the last Wipnchat, and we'll talk about a few of those things too, because they're very important. And I can think of one right off the top of my head that I feel like I need to address, because I get asked like every time that I make a video or I stream on Twitch, and we need to talk about it. So give me 1 second and I'm gonna go get the comments up. Okay, the first question that I want to address is what I just talked about. The person talking about it, their username is Angel Uriel GM, and they asked, did I miss a video of you telling about your cat Gigi, and where is she now? You haven't mentioned her so far. So Gigi was a cat that came to, how do I put this? I trapped a kitty outside. Oh, I started purling. I needed to be knitting. Trapped a kitty outside who I thought needed to be spayed because she wanders. She and her whole family, I think, wanders outside my house. And so one day I got the cat trap from the vet and set it up, and I caught Gigi. Brought her to the vet. They started the operation, and then they realized that Gigi had already been fixed. But Gigi was definitely not an indoor cat. No microchip, no collar, no sign of human affection. Feral. However, I decided to keep Gigi inside the house because I wanted to make sure that she healed her incision and offer her a better life of being an indoor cat. However, after several months, at the end, was it the end or the middle of January, I think, Gigi had escaped through an open window, just a cracked window. And I only saw her once after that outdoors, and she did not want to come back. Now, I'm pretty sure that's because I have a dog. I have a dog named Luna. And Luna did not like Gigi at all. Very jealous. Just, they didn't get on, right? They were attacking each other and stuff. Not to the point where there was blood or anything, but certainly not liking each other. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the contributing factors to why she left. But it could just be that she rewilded that quickly. She was gone a week before I saw her again outside. And I was outside all the time trying to find her. Well, not literally all the time, but I was out there several times a day for that first week looking for her, calling her, trying to get her to come back. And when she did come back, she acted like she didn't know me. So I'm pretty sure that she just went back to being her old self. And that's perfectly fine. I've been able to process how hurt and sad I am about it, you know? Like, she was a really good cat. The cuddliest cat I've ever had, by far, in my life. And I've had 4 cats. Even my first cat, like my childhood cat, wasn't that cuddly. It felt like I got the love that I needed at the time that I needed it. It really helped me. Her presence even just helped with my anxiety. So yeah, I'm really grateful that I had Gigi for that short amount of time. But Gigi was an outdoor cat and wants to stay that way. I do go out there and put out food for her. Oh, let me make sure I get this right. Oof. And make sure that doesn't go away. I put out food for her, but it's been a long time since she's come around. And most of the time it's magpies or crows that eat the food that I put out. So, because I do kind of watch it, you know. So that's what happened to Gigi. And I don't know how soon I'm going to, or if I will get another cat. Based on the experience, James said we could try with a kitten. Maybe Luna will warm up to the kitten. But honestly, I don't think so. I think I'll have to wait until Luna passes to get a cat. But I do love having cats. Let me go ahead and start the next row, and then I'll get more of these. So, okay, so we used the pink, and now the pink is going to go away for a little while, and we're going to go back to black. And it's pretty much the same again as it was before. This looks so cool, this patterning. I really like it. Okay, so knit 3. Please bear with me while I start this row. Stomach is doing somersaults from that drink. And then I need to, is it knit front back? Yeah. And then slip 1, knit 5. Okay, so we're going to do this. Since there's a little bit of counting involved, this might be a little more difficult, but I don't think so. Okay, we've got it. I've got it. It's fine. All right, let me go back to the comments. I want to say thank you to Rochelle Vaughn, um, who really wants to see the Zen Moss Garden completed. We'll watch no matter what you work on because we love you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. I do. I have a lot of those kinds of thoughts that aren't really rational. So it's nice to see that, people do enjoy watching the videos. If just as a reminder, if you are watching and you are able to, please hit that like button, especially when you're watching people like creators that you really enjoy. Please hit that like button. It helps so much. It helps a lot more than you might even realize. I've been guilty of that too, where I'm watching videos and I get on a streak and then I totally forget about it. But if you wouldn't mind, that would be amazing. I really appreciate that. I try to make sure that I do it as a rule of thumb. Like every video that I watch, I'm like, because it helps with the algorithm and it helps with people seeing the video. Like you'll see the video in your subscription feed, but will it be recommended to you if it's not liked? I'm not sure. I'm not a master of the algorithm, but I do know it's one of those things that helps. So just from me to you, definitely make sure you do that on your favorite creators' videos. Smiling Daisy said, I'm loving this piece so much, but I'm too scared to start it. I wouldn't be scared to start. There are resources for you. Like I was saying, there's in last week's video, I was working on this thing called the Zen Moss Garden chatelaine. And it's a chatelaine is just like basic. Oh, I went too far. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. Okay. It's just cross stitch with back stitch and specialty threads and things like that. It's just the pattern is so big. You got to start from the inside out, and that's all. That's all it is. But don't be afraid. There's communities of people working on them, and they are more than happy to help. Betsy Cunningham was saying it's funny that I just got into diamond painting, and yours are the first videos I watched when I was investigating diamond painting, she says. So I thank you for those. It figures you would be getting out of diamond painting just as I'm getting into it. But I will watch anytime you and James do a Theory Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you, Betsy. By the way, James doesn't watch these videos, obviously, but he loves joking about the fact that he has fans on YouTube. It's so cute. He really likes y'all. He thinks that your comments are funny, and he's super grateful that you're watching the videos. And he thinks about you all the time. So as soon as he gets his work done, I swear, as soon as he gets his work done, grading these papers, we're going to sit down and do another Theory Tuesday. But I'm not going to ask him to, take time away from what he's supposed to be doing to film a video with me. So there's that. I'm trying to be a little bit tough on him right now because I know that filming the Theory Tuesday is what he wants to do, but it's not what he should be doing, right? So hopefully next week. Let's see. Oh, Totokai, I just want to say I'm grateful for your comment. Thank you. I don't want to read it out loud, but I'm really grateful for it. And then Bob from Florida says, that was funny. I think Luna was dreaming when you woke her up at the end. I think she was dreaming, and it was super cute. Um, she's sleeping right now as well. And Shalene gave me some hearts. Crafty Panda. I absolutely love Ireland. I visited for a month in 2011. We rented a house in Derry and traveled throughout Northern Ireland, including Donegal. I loved my visit so much that I went back in 2013 for a 2-week trip around the island where we stayed in a different town each night. Sounds like so much fun. I would do absolutely anything to be able to move to Ireland permanently. What an incredible place to live. The people there are so amazing. You never meet a stranger and someone's always willing to help you out. It's true. It's true. Now, Ireland is, full of people who are also not so great, but, in general, I think that people here are pretty freaking awesome and fun to be around. They definitely know what's up. And thank you. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Ariel? Perhaps Eryal. Thank you so much. Thank you. Melinda, I love your comments. Thank you so much. She says, crafting should be fun. If you're not feeling the diamond painting, it's okay. I love seeing your progress on the Zen garden. I'm in the slow process of acquiring the materials for this project. Trying to decide what to stitch it on. I have an ivory fabric, but the black you're using is growing on me. This is the thing. Okay, so you're going to be stitching on it for a really long time. I highly recommend choosing a fabric count that is quite high because of the beads, low, sorry. Fabric count that's low, like 28 or 32, probably 28 though. And then choose a color that suits the project, but also for your eyes. The only reason that I chose the black was because, well, one because I like the dramatic effect. When I saw the mock-up of it on black, I was like, oh, that is so stunning. 2, because I'm headstrong, and 3, because Heika's doing it in an ivory, and we want to see what the differences are, like how different they turn out looking. But yeah, definitely check it out. For those of you who are interested in kitting up a chatelaine, there are some resources. You can go to Hawkins Hobbies in the UK, European Cross Stitch Company in the US, and I don't know if there's a specific website or store that you can use for the EU. But European Cross Stitch Company is where I ordered the beads, but unfortunately they got lost in the post. So there's that. I might rebuy them in a while. I've been thinking about it. Maybe the end of March when I get paid. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. We'll see where the priorities lie at that stage. The Abnormal Squid, love your username, says, just making sure that my count is right. Crafts are an ebb and flow. I started diamond painting because I burnt myself out on my other crafts and needed something new. I'm glad that you have cross stitch to fill that space for you. Me too. I think it's important to be able to rotate it. Otherwise, you might go on like a hiatus for a long time, and I don't want to have a time in my life where I don't have a craft. So I think that it's nice to kind of flip-flop between them and go through seasons with them as well. Patty, hey Patty, Patty says, I lived in northern Utah for 3 years. That was the first time I'd ever heard of skinwalkers. I found myself looking over my shoulder at night, too. They do sound very creepy. Sounds like a lot of like Appalachia kind of stuff that I had heard about as a kid, that I tried to block out, but thanks to TikTok, it's back. And all of this, Googling that James does as well. Yikes, yikes, yikes. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you, Beverly and Glenda, for your comments as well. Always so kind. Always leaving really nice messages for me. So sweet. Diane's diamond painting. So glad to listen to you again. The piece you're working on is beautiful. I've only done the packaged kits where everything is included, and I don't understand all the cross-stitch speak. But I'm glad that you took a break and you're looking after yourself. And you're getting your citizenship. Oop, uh-oh, hang on. I split the yarn by accident, and my dryer is going off. Of course. Goodness, I've been here for 45 minutes and I'm still not done the row. Well, technically I finished a row, but it wasn't the row. I hope you can ignore the boo 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 boo. Might be a busy... Oh, I'm glad that you're getting your citizenship. It might be a bit easier for you than myself because in Belgium, when I first came here, I had to get all my documents translated into Dutch. I should be ready to apply for permanent residency in August. I am a permanent resident now. I did have to get documents translated into English when I went for my first visa before I was married. It was a whole thing. It was very stressful. They declined my application at first because all of my documents were Korean and they didn't have my surname because as a foreigner, it wasn't necessary to have my surname on bills because my first name, Leitel, is foreign enough. Also, it's 3 syllables, which is the structure of a Korean name. You'd have, I don't know, Kim, Ami. Three syllables is how long the Korean name is, boy or girl. So you have your surname and then your first name. And anyway, it was hard for them to understand. Anyway, it was a whole hot mess. I don't even like thinking about that time because it was just so stressful. But yeah, I'm glad I don't have to get these documents translated or anything like that. I can only imagine how that must feel. All I can say is definitely get an affidavit. Make sure that you go to a solicitor and you get an affidavit just saying that you were telling the truth. If you can get that, because that would have saved me a lot of time if I had done that myself. Of course, I knew that I was being genuine, but the government didn't. And the only way that they know that is if you get an affidavit. If you ever do a retreat, I'm going to do my best to be there. I hope I can do a retreat. Hopefully next year. We will see how it goes. This year is just too much. I need to get my ish together, but maybe next year. Early next year, hopefully. Thank you so much, Caitlin. She says that she appreciates me verbalizing the struggle and getting counseling. It's definitely helping, and I'm glad that I'm not, with y'all watching, sometimes it can feel a little bit exposing, but I don't think that I'm going through anything that's radically different from anyone else. I just feel like I should have trusted my instincts and not felt so scared to go to a counselor before, to go see a therapist before, because there's nothing wrong in seeking help, but it wasn't that I felt ashamed. It was that I just felt scared. I still feel scared. I'm going to work through that. I'm not used to talking directly to a person about these things. For a very long time, I used to just talk to myself. And I used to do a thing where I had this little recorder, or an MP3 player. It was a little one. It wasn't an I something. It was just a MIDI player or something. I don't even know what they're called. And it had a record button on it. And I remember I was going through a lot. I was struggling a lot in uni and with school and work and relationships and everything. At the time, relationships were like my number one priority for whatever reason. I was really just consumed, and I felt like I had no one to talk to. I didn't have a friend I could confide in. All of my friends had left and gone to other colleges, and then my but my first oldest relationship, it kind of pulled me away from all of my friends. So I had nobody. So I used to actually counsel myself in the car about what I should do and how I was feeling and all this stuff, working myself through these issues and using the recorder as like a way to process. So I never really talked to anybody. I didn't talk to family, I didn't talk to friends. And evidently that's a trauma response. So I don't know, but I'm working through it. I'm trying to open up and just let it happen with someone who really knows what they're talking about and can guide me into recognizing I'm nervous now, what I'm going through. That's all I really want to talk about it. Girl Diamond says that they totally relate to the doom scrolling. I retreat to crafting videos on YouTube to escape for a little bit. Thank you for sharing your mental health checks. Thank you. I'm glad that you don't mind. And Jeep Girl also says the same. Lucy Lou, I hope that you feel better now. It's been 3 days since you wrote your comment, and you mentioned that you had COVID, so I hope that you're feeling better. Sharon, Bowie, so glad to have you back. You have to take care of yourself first. Still enjoying diamond painting a lot, but I really want to start a cross stitch piece, the first in a long while. I'm having trouble due to my anxiety. I hope to try and start one this week. Even if I just put in 5 stitches. Start is a start. A start is a start. And you don't have to do anything complicated or big. Maybe if you start really small, that'll bring the love back to the craft. Mardo says, your dog looked up at you like, really, Mom? You woke me up for this? Yeah, all the time. Oh, here we go. Fee the DP Addict wrote that she's glad to see me back. thought I'd share with you two companies, Crafty Diamonds UK and Prism Diamond Art, are both have special diamond art kits raising funds for Ukraine to help the cause. I just found out tonight, this was yesterday, Craft Buddy UK are doing 50% off all their, donating 50% of all their profits of Sunflower Forever kits. It's so lovely that many of the crafty world are doing their bit. It is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that information. I appreciate it. And Margaret as well, thank you. And Chris too. Chris is doing the Tarot Sal. There's a Facebook group for that, I think. And I did not join it because, well, I appreciate tarot. I have tarot cards, but I just didn't want another Sal, especially when I'm still doing the cryptid Sal. Like, I need to get in on it, but I have not tried the loop start from the front, and I need to try that. Or maybe I did, but it didn't work so well for me, so I need to try practicing again. And I will make sure to give hugs to Luna from you. Lulu. Lulu. Hey, baby. Oh, you sleepy. You want to come here? You want cuddles? No. Just annoyed her. Anyway, I will put a picture. Yeah, at some point I would have put a picture of her. But that's pretty much it. My thoughts are with all the people of Russia and Ukraine right now. Again, I feel like this could have been avoided. I sincerely believe that Putin is a terrible, terrible human, and that people don't deserve this. And I don't think that war is the answer either. I'm worried about all the people who've lost their homes and their families. It's terrible. It's awful. But let's do what we can to help them and to, keep spirits high as well. Try to do our bit, but also to just uplift each other. That's what I would like. So I hope that, I'm going to put this down now. I hope that you see this video and you feel what I'm trying to say. It's okay to get help. This time in 2018, maybe a little bit after March, but I started taking medication for the first time, and it helped for a while, and then 2020 hit, and then I realized that I needed more than just medication, and then I talked about talking to a therapist for about a year and a half before I got the gumption to actually do it. But now I encourage you to take this as a sign that if you have been putting it off, they are there to help you. They are not going to hurt you, and they're not going to twist your words or anything like that, which is super important to me as well. Ugh. It tastes too healthy. It really tastes too healthy. Okay. I hope you all are doing well. Take care. Please take your medicine, drink water, eat some fruit, do what you can. Maybe get up and get a little stretch in. Tomorrow, Thursday, what is the date tomorrow? The 10th of March. I will be going live on Twitch at 2 p.m. UK time, Irish time, and 1 12, 11, 10, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I will be cross-stitching on my Pokemon Gotta Catch 'Em All Sal and raising money for the Child's Play charity. So please come on in and sit down and hang out with us. We would love to have you. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a great week ahead, and I will see you all soon in tomorrow's video. Take care, everyone. Bye.